Ready?
Ready.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of You Haven't Seen That Podcast, or YHST for short. I'm Isaac.
I'm Elva.
And I'm Carlos.
He's a ghost.
Ooh, ghost.
Or in this case, a vampire.
Ooh.
We're finally doing another breakdown.
My first breakdown with you guys.
That
Welcome.
is right, yes.
Welcome, Carlos. But again, we get ahead of ourselves. If you're new here, if you haven't done so already, follow us on social media at
Why Trusty Pod.
on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you want to support us in all our little fun endeavors, do that on Venmo at
Why Trusty Pod.
So yes, this is it's been a little bit of a while since we've done a breakdown. There's sometimes more involved. I was talking to Carlos about this. Again, welcome to an official breakdown, Carlos.
Thank you.
I was talking to Carlos about this recently that, what makes the breakdowns a little bit daunting is I'm technically watching the movie twice. One, to have just a fresh, uninterrupted view of it. Mm-hmm. And then second, to kind of write down notes, because oftentimes the movies that we're covering are culturally significant movies. And when it's a good movie, a lot happens in it. And I want to, give the movie its flowers and kind of, I want to talk about all these things, but I've learned to sort of, relinquish some of the preciousness about these things. So I say that preemptively because today we are covering Robert Rodriguez's 1996 From Dusk Till Dawn.
Nice.
Before Sinners, there was this movie. And it's
Selma Hayek.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Oh,
baby.
my goodness. It is directed by Robert Rodriguez and is co-written by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. This is Robert Rodriguez's third feature film. The first ones he did was El Mariachi and Desperado, which are fantastic fucking films. I'm sure maybe Carlos knows more about Robert Rodriguez than I do, but the one thing that I'm aware about Robert Rodriguez is that he is one dude that essentially pulls himself up by his bootstraps. He does it his own way. El Mariachi, he shot for what, $7,000?
Shoestring budget, lunch money.
What does your lunch entail when it comes to
Right?
$7,000?
Are you taking people out to lunch or something?
Wagyu steaks. Who didn't do that?
somebody
Who
lives on
didn't
the
do
nice-
that at 7 years old? Come on.
Somebody lives on the nice side of the tracks.
Right? I also want to correct you on that one because you did say Robert Rodriguez was the writer. It was Robert Kurtzman.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So thank you for jumping in on that. So to actually counter correct you, Robert Kurtzman was the guy that originally had the idea. So it is his story, but it was Tarantino and Rodriguez that wrote the script. It was Tarantino that actually originally was writing the script and wrote the really creepy, foot-loving Richie role for himself, and was then shopping a director around. And then once you get a director in there, especially someone like Robert Rodriguez, they get involved in the writing and whatnot. Because I don't think Kurtzman wanted this film to be like a B movie, which obviously once the shit kicks off and all the vampire goody goodness, it does lean into that campiness, and it's kind of ridiculous. So I have seen this movie. Carlos has seen this movie. I'm going to put Alva on the spot here.
I have not seen this movie. Oh my
You
God.
haven't seen that.
Wait, hold on. Let me get it.
That's what.
Let me get my goal. Yeah, no, I have not seen it. No, I know about Selma Hayek and her bikini. Yes, I'm aware that it came out in 2000 something or other.
No.
Or 90 whatevers.
See, this is why we do this.
And again, I have not seen this movie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is a show where me and Carlos tell Alva, you haven't seen that?
Thanks.
No, but that's okay. This is the whole point of the show. And of course, we'll go down in later breakdown episodes where we haven't seen something. So, we're going to cover, spoiler alert, we're going to cover Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen that?
No, I haven't
review?
seen that.
No, so shame on us.
Devil Wears Prada. I haven't seen that.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you, bro.
Yeah. Look, I retain my man card. Okay. But on my first rewatch, and I say first rewatch because about 2 months ago, we were supposed to cover this. Our schedules got ahead of us. But anyhow, on the first rewatch, I was like, oh, I remember watching this movie, especially watching it on TV, which me and Carlos went down the rabbit hole and we're watching the TV edits that they had.
That was hilarious.
One of the most R-rated movies that was almost an NC-17 rating. You have to blur out the tits on the sign. You have to just blur out tits in general. And I say blur out, but they put those they sort of rotoscope painted the nude bikinis.
It just looked way off. And I mean, freaking, like, what can I say? Freaking
dude,
hell.
The voiceovers. Who remembers not TV movies, but movies that then were released on television that were like hard R-rated, like Showgirls, and especially From Dusk Till Dawn, where it's a Tarantino movie, which means motherfucker or fuck is going to be every other line, So it's like, hey, mother freaking. The really obvious the ADR, it's so silly. Go down the rabbit hole yourselves, do that research and watch. That just takes me back because I remember being a kid watching like the movies on television and being like, yeah, mother lover, hey mother father. That's just too much fun. But so I had watched it on the first rewatch. This is after like Sinners had came out.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody's like, oh, Sinners is like From Dusk Till Dawn, but From Dusk Till Dawn does it better. I think obviously Sinners took that inspiration from Dusk Till Dawn, and whether it perfected it or made it better, like it is also just a completely different set of movies. I mean, it's 20 years apart or so. Completely different directors. Their style is different. The themes that they're going for is completely different. And in that regard, I consider them like kind of incomparable. It's kind of rude to be, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Because Sinners for sure is not a B movie, but
and
also
didn't have to change their blood.
That's true.
No,
Yeah. Which we'll get into that in a moment. But so on the first rewatch, I forgot how much of the movie is not vampire related. So that's why I think about the whole Sinners thing and how fucking fun and interesting it was with the Gecko brothers, Seth and Richie, which is George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, and how great their performances was, and how great the writing was. I mean, that's just straight up Tarantino.
Oh yeah.
We've covered Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and I could go on and on about how delicious Tarantino's writing is. So like when you go into this movie, there's so many things that are quotable, and it's one of those instances again where I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, that's a quote, that's a quote, that's a quote. And I know you, Carlos, you're eager to jump on Cheech Marin's line as the door caller.
We'll get to him soon.
So, man, it was like I forgot just how fucking great those first 45 minutes were. How out there the last. It's the movie's cut in half. It is two movies. It's genre blending. And I don't know if there's been any other movie that's done that. I want to say successfully, because this movie was considered a success.
Yeah. I mean, for it to have like that drastic tone change where it's like, okay, it's a crime thriller kind of thing, suspense. And then it just like totally goes in another direction. Like, okay, it just entered a new genre. So I will, I know again, Sinners and with the comparisons, I'd say the only comparisons is how with Sinners, you would think that it's mainly going to be a crime drama and it involves two brothers that are the criminals. And then, of course, it shifts into vampire-isms. Not the right word to use. But that's where I would say the comparison stopped, because whereas Sinners was a much more serious film, this is just meant to be like pure fun. What's the...
Yes, I did.
Like, you just like don't take anything seriously in the second act and the third act. Like, no, like it's off the walls, like fun things don't make sense, but I just go along with it because it's a Robert Rodriguez movie. And
even like the characters in the bar, whether it be Danny Trejo or
Tom Savini,
Jesus Christ, to write a character like Sex Machine, is just fucking out there. But that's my overall thought of it is like, I forgot how fun and how kind of ridiculous this movie is. Also, I forgot about how good George Clooney was. This is his first lead role. Is his first feature film?
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes was, I think, his first movie. But like, this is like for him to actually not do that kind of movie. I mean, even though you might think like, oh, this is like a B movie for him, but
I think he got more roles after this movie.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I mean, we'll get into his character, but like he definitely leads this film. Like, it's like a total badass. He has like that code of honor. Like he's ruthless. Yeah, but he won't kill anyone that he doesn't have to.
So obviously, me and Carlos we were geeking about it over dinner the other night, and I was like, fucking save it, dude. I don't want to waste it over dinner. Let's nerd about it on pod. So I want to hear, Alva, what your interpretation, what your take was. It what stood out for you? What were your thoughts? What were your prayers?
Well, this was my second time watching this movie because the first time I fell asleep. I didn't even make it to the motel. I don't think so.
I think there's less movies that she stood awake for than falling asleep at.
Yeah, I should make a list. I feel like the movie ended for me when Salma Hayek died. I was like, do I got to finish the rest? I don't think I have to, right? But I do get the whole appeal of that. I somehow feel like there are certain parts where I kind of wanted, was it George Clooney's character to just kill his brother in the beginning before he died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into that dynamic.
And I'm just like, you can kind of, in a way, tell that, was it Seth?
Yeah.
He was kind of wanting to kind of somewhat contemplate, like, I need to get rid of you or I'm going to get caught because of you. And not because of me, because of you, because of your mistakes. I would totally be on board with that. If that happened early in the movie, I'd be like, amazing. I don't need Quentin Tarantino. I also feel like I didn't need that whole thing with the foot.
Which part?
Yeah.
Like all the feet things, like I'm fine with. I was fine without.
You know what? I usually say that about anything when it comes to Tarantino and feet, like with Kill Bill and stuff like that. But man, if I'm going to be a slave vampire for Salma Hayek's vampire and I just have to lick dog shit off of her heel, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Sign me up, bite me in the neck. I'll be your step stool. I'm cool with that. And I'm not a feet guy.
The other part that kind of surprised me after I learned that Quentin Tarantino wrote this script. I was like, so you wrote yourself as a rapist.
Yeah.
Like, are we living your like weird fantasy or your dream to be one? Like,
That has been speculated in like all of those.
like
Yeah.
out of all the characters, he could like give himself like maybe, oh, he has like certain fetishes, fine, whatever, write that in there. But like, you're a sex offender.
When doing the research on this, one of the things that stood out was apparently Tarantino was like, oh man, you know what I realized? I realized I didn't write myself that many lines. I go, that's the thing you wanted to correct? Not that you're like, very obviously
Unstable,
amongst so many
wild
things.
card.
It's shoot first, ask questions later
lightly.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, so if he would have written his character as maybe someone who just did crimes, robberies, and the reason he got caught was because he jumped the gun to like killing someone because in his head it was perceived that they looked at him wrong or called him something, which like there's a part in the movie where that happens, then I would understand why he's such a hothead and easy to pull the trigger. But to write yourself as a sex offender out of all the things that you can do, like you could be like the schizo whatever or something.
Yeah.
It's for sure, as the kids say, sus.
Also sus that considering that the ogre himself, Harvey Weinstein, produced this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what got him to be like, let's produce this movie. We see what you did.
I think that's why he became his favorite.
Yeah.
Let's stick with the movie here. Okay, so this is starring George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, Salma Hayek. Am I missing anyone else? Danny Trejo, Cheech Marin fucking gobbles up like
Fred Williamson. Frost, he was the Vietnam vet.
I was so surprised when Michael Parks popped up. I'm like, oh my God, holy crap. And little fun fact that there were two versions of Michael Parks's part in the beginning of the movie where he's the sheriff. And obviously he gets killed off in this version, but there's another version where he gets to live because he plays the same sheriff in Kill Bill, Sheriff
Earl McGraw.
Yeah. And, connecting the universes before Marvel did it. So it's an amazing cast. Harvey Keitel is a veteran in acting at this point and just chews up the scene as Jacob Fuller, who is the father of Juliette Lewis's and her brother. I didn't get that kid's name. Scott, right? So Juliette Lewis is Kate, and then her brother Scott. Which I felt bad for that kid actor.
He had the worst way to go out in this movie.
Not only that, which I've had nightmares like that, by the way, like just getting chewed up by monsters, and you're like, "Fucking kill me!" But
He had it coming.
what the hell?
Wow. So ruthless.
No, because
Here we go. Check this out.
out of nowhere, like you're like, Dad, they're gonna, and I'm just like, sir, just follow your dad's directions. You'll live instead of freaking getting to die. But you want to do the right thing, all right? Go right ahead, Mr. Adopted Kid. Like nothing wrong with that, right?
How dare he retain his faith in the Lord and want to do the right thing? What a little shit. No, what I was gonna fucking say was the actor's ability compared to all these other very experienced and very talented actors, like it stood out as not good. I don't think I looked into how he got cast in that role. Who do you owe a favor to?
I don't know. I think it was his first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ernest Liu, and then he did another one. I think in '97, the Westing Game, and that was it. Like after that, I think his career just went down. I think out of all the people who did this movie, he was the one that didn't really succeed in his acting career.
But that's exactly what I'm saying, and it's not just because like everyone else is so good, but I'm like, it was a weird a weird casting choice for him, because it wasn't like his character didn't have things to do. You know, he sort of was like the angel on his dad's shoulder, whispering all the good things. He really was that like moral, true north, the compass.
The moral compass.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he did have some involvement. It just, you know, acting wise, like it didn't work when it came to the first half of that movie where everyone else was like really good, you know? So I'm not going to go scene for scene like I usually do in these things, but I do want to at least start it off with the movie opening. So the movie opens up with no music, and it's Michael Parks as Sheriff Earl McGraw pulling into a liquor store, and it's a nice little, you know, camera booming down, and he walks into the liquor store. He's friends with the clerk. It's the efficiency of storytelling, you know, when it comes to Tarantino writing these characters, that nobody ever has a bit role. Even if they have like 4 lines, they are fleshed out. When George Clooney's Seth Gecko interacts with the hotel clerk, this old grumpy dude, it could have just been like, "Yes, sir. What room? Do you need a room?" But he's like, "God damn it! What do you want?" He's like, "I fucking want a room, old timer." He's like, all right. You know, just in those little things, there's the efficiency of building your characters. You know, that's the job of a writer. You know, you want to make this world, this fictional world, feel lived in, and he does that with the sheriff. He does that with the clerk. You know, evidently they've known each other, and that back and forth. But my fucking favorite, I want to say easily my favorite scene of the whole entire movie, is within these first 5 minutes of Michael Parks as Sheriff Earl McGraw. And he's talking about, you know, the robbers and all like the kind of nitty gritty stuff, and the camera loves him, and it pushes in slowly on him, and he's telling this whole story. He's like, and I realize like he's almost at a whisper the way he's telling this story and about these Gecko brothers and their robbery. They make me fucking sick. You know, just the way he sort of delivers that. Michael Parks is fucking wonderful. I said it in Kill Bill Volume 2 when we covered that. My favorite of his was as Esteban Viejo, right? You know, please call me Esteban. It's wonderful. Like that's what an actor's supposed to do, is bring this character to life. But, you know, on the script, it totally works in this whole scene. And like I said, the efficiency of it. So we're introduced to almost everybody almost immediately. And shit goes down in that liquor store, and you meet the Gecko brothers. You immediately get the sense of Seth being the good thief, if you will, if there ever is a term. He's a professional. And then you get a sense of Richie just being a fucking psychopath, but not fully yet, because he's literally whispering. And I love that they did this. He didn't say it out loud. He whispered it in Seth's ear, which is, it's a choice, you know, as far as like a character. He's a psychopath. He's racked up, what's the kill count? I think it's 16.
Right. Like when the news anchor's explaining their carnage.
Yeah, 16.
16 rapes and deaths. So Seth absolutely knows what his brother is, but you know, per brotherly love, I mean, he is still a robber, and so his brain's already out of whack. I mean, just based off getting that fucking stupid tattoo on his neck,
The one that always moves.
Oh yeah,
that one's. You know, we were looking at like the behind the scenes, and some of the little bloopers and inconsistencies or deleted scenes. But one of the things I go, you know what? They should have at least taken a Polaroid of that tattoo. But I mean, it was a small budget. We couldn't get a tattoo.
Yeah.
Correct. But it's George Clooney in this. George Clooney is so fantastic as Seth. You know, this professional thief who has an out of his mind, whack job, homicidal rapist brother whom he loves. That's just a fucking crazy dynamic as it is, you know? And so, of course, you're like, well, why doesn't he kill him right off the bat? Well, it's his brother. What does that history show?
Yeah.
You know, is there some sort of prequel
Is it
world?
blood, or is it like you're my brother because we spent time in prison together?
Well, he did break him out, right?
Yeah,
that
he
sort of
sprung
was
him out
implied.
of jail. Yeah.
So maybe he owed him one.
yeah.
You know, but he throughout the whole 45 minutes, well, throughout until, you know, Richie's untimely end, Seth is always trying to make an excuse for him. But even though there's those fucking, you know, those breaking moments. For instance, when he was whispering in his ear and then just immediately opens fire on the clerk. Seth could kill him at any one of those moments. But then what does that then say about Seth? He's a professional, but he's not trying to kill anybody. I don't think he ever starts anything.
I don't think the deaths that happened maybe in the previous ones or even the 16 are his. Because even he says, like, I don't kill unless I have to.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the other ones were just like, man,
Collateral damage.
like his brother heard something but wasn't really there, and I'm just like,
Because I think that if Seth were to harm his brother right out the gate, I then think that the relationship or interactions between the Fuller family, you wouldn't have believed Seth. You wouldn't believe George Clooney when he gives them their word. Because if you're going to attack family, then everyone else means nothing. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it was key to show that Seth unconditionally loves his brother, no matter what kind of absolute fucking monster he is. So again, the efficiency of storytelling, the whole liquor store scene happens. And even as they're walking out and the explosions behind them, they're unflinching
Yeah.
at everything that's going down, all the horrible things. You know, and they're just having like a regular brotherly squabble.
They're just going back and forth. They're arguing like, you know, like, no, like, you know, you don't do this. Like, you know, you're trying to escape. You know, you don't set a place on fire, you know, cause a shootout. So you're already kind of getting their dynamic that they just banter. But, you know, they're just kind of like desensitized to like all the carnage that they leave behind.
Which shows you that they are, in fact, bad guys. And then you get your like classic Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino like needle drop. I didn't look up what the song was, but it's just ultimately badass. Like, what a great way. You know, you're basically having a cold open to set up everything you need to know about certain characters. You needle drop it, title card, and it's badass. It's so Robert Rodriguez. It's fucking badass. It is a vibe. You know, the From Dusk Till Dawn, just the bold red lettering just comes up. And you're in it. You're like, what? Yeah.
it's Dark Knight by the Blasters.
Hum me a tune. Hum me a couple bars.
I don't know it.
From the dark night. Dun, dun, dun.
Do you know?
That's my best rendition.
That's great. But it's
Not the day night, but the dark night.
God.
it sets you up for what this movie is. Now, I can't remember the first time I actually saw this movie, so I'm going to defer to you, Alva, as far as like that opening sequence. Like, what did you feel? How did it set you up emotionally?
I didn't feel. I think I was just watching it just to kind of get the feel. Like the first couple minutes, it's to get my attention in any movie. Whether this movie had that, I was like, okay, well, we're going cops and robbers. I'm down for that. Why not? I know Selma Hayek's going to pop up somewhere because everyone doesn't shut up about that, clearly. But so far, it had me. There was some things where I kind of kept saying, like, really? A hole in your hand, you're going to be, like, bleeding more or anything? Your fingers are still moving? Like, that kind of thing was like, I'm going to stop believing things now in life.
What's so funny, though, because obviously there's some of that stuff, which is very, like, 90s action movies, you know, where you got to suspend your disbelief. And once you like fast forward into all the vampire stuff, you're like, oh yeah, no, everything's out the gate.
Yeah.
Everything's whatever needs to happen is going to happen. Which actually you bring up a really interesting fact. So comparing this to Sinners, when Sinners first, the teaser trailer first dropped, I love Coogler and I love a good like period piece like that. So when that trailer first dropped, I was already taken in and I go, there's something mysterious about this. Because if you remember the first teaser trailer.
Yeah, I remember it.
It was a push in on Michael B. Jordan. He's all bloodied up and sweaty and whatnot, and his wife beater, and he's sitting like on a ammo crate.
Yeah,
and like the fucking hymns are going, and I'm like, whatever this is, this looks amazing. The way that this teaser trailer is presenting it, I'm not supposed to know more, so I'm gonna go into it blind. I'm in.
Yeah.
So when this movie From Dusk Till Dawn, when they aired the trailers, they made sure not to include all the vampire stuff. And trailers have been spoiling stuff since like forever. That's not a new thing. It's more of a not exactly a marketing thing, but I think somebody was saying it's more of like a law thing. Like, am I buying my ticket for a movie that was advertised? You
don't say.
Yeah. but it gets a little bit tricky with something like this because the expectation of going into it as a, I don't know, campy B movie, vampire movie, you don't want to be prepared for that, So originally the trailers didn't show, though I guess maybe the first couple of trailers didn't show that all the vampire portions of it. It was just a movie about brothers having to escape from the law and all that other fun stuff. So I wonder what people's first reactions were. That's why I was asking you, but I realized, of course she knows it's a vampire movie. The lore is in the lexicon.
I think I would view movies differently, though, especially the ones that I haven't seen. And people are like, oh, you haven't seen that or blah, blah. I think I would be more likely to watch them if I wasn't given a lot of information about that movie. Give me like a couple bullet points, but don't go on and be like, oh my God, this. And just like, because that'd be great. Because I know we do have some friends and then they're like, yeah, it's this and that and the movie and goes on. And I'm just like, I understand. But I understand there is a difference between a movie that's not as pop culture and movie that is from this movie really where it's everyone's really like having posters everywhere and stuff like that. But I think pop culture that does have a great effect on all of this where if someone hasn't seen it, then it's like it's really much there.
I think I get what you're saying. So like ultimately when you're forced to basically sit and watch the whole thing play out, are you into it at all? Because even me knowing what to expect, I'm like, oh my God, I can still appreciate these, non-vampire scenes.
Yeah, I'm into it. But just like I said earlier, it takes me a while to get into it. Because I'm watching these movies at home. It's not like I'm in a dark room watching them like in the theaters. But I also do feel like maybe I should have watched this when it came out. Or maybe I should have watched it maybe a couple years after it came out.
So that is also like my fear when I'm going to break down one of these like pop culture movies, especially one that I haven't seen, which is why I'm pushing back Lord of the Rings further back. I go, dear, how do I even come at this thing?
You don't cover that one.
But like, what if I don't like it, but everyone loves it? Is it okay? And will it be dated enough where I'm not going to appreciate some of those things? I always fear some of that. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like covering a Kill Bill where I'm like, I grew up on it. So I think I get what you're saying. But Carlos, like, what did I ask for you? What your overall vibe was about this movie?
Well, I can't remember when was the first time I watched this. I think I may have been like in high school because I remember seeing the posters and I didn't know what the movie's about. Just George Clooney. He has a gun pointed at my face. So I'm like, is he supposed to be a badass? I don't think I knew about the vampire twist as much. So watching the movie, I'm like, okay, pretty intense crime thriller. And then going into like, I don't want to say wacky because it makes it sound like it's bad, but the sudden change of genre when, Salma Hayek reveals herself as a vampire. Oh, I was like, oh, okay. So this is like a vampire movie or like, because I didn't know it was vampire first. I thought it was like a demon or something. Yeah. I just remember like kind of being puzzled, like, oh, so this is now a new movie that we've entered.
It does feel like a completely new movie.
But I was totally going along with this, and I wasn't as too well versed with Robert Rodriguez movies, so it wasn't until after that I saw Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Sin City, that now, like, looking back at that, I'm like, oh, that's totally his style. You know,
Right.
he's one that could have pulled off that sudden transition.
And he does.
Yeah, this was like my first fun vampire movie to watch. Well, besides Blade, but
Oh, Blade
Yeah.
is so fucking classic. As I remember watching that as a kid.
I
'Cause-
haven't seen that.
all right, add it.
Which one?
You add it to the list. Blade.
Yeah.
any Blade.
just
Any
just
Blade.
the first one at
Blade.
least.
Yeah.
I'm adding it to the list for you guys. Its own.
But there's one. So going back into the movie, there's one scene I want to talk about because I did not remember how disturbing the scene was, and it is focusing on Richie's personality traits.
His interests.
So the Gecko brothers have kidnapped a bank teller, or I think her name is Gloria, and they make their way to a hotel room, and they have to hunker down because they had to make a plan, whatever. And Seth has to go out. He's getting food, which Carlos pointed out.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe you did not notice this.
Even I noticed it, bro.
And
I
you're
didn't
the
notice it.
Tarantino fan out of all of us.
Here's the thing. I went in knowing that Quentin Tarantino is in this movie, and I know his movies have somehow connections to things.
And the connection is...
Big Kahuna Burger.
Yep.
And the reason why I didn't notice it, because at the time of when I first was watching these movies and didn't do the research, I didn't know that it was co-written by Tarantino. So I didn't think to look for any kind of connectivity.
Right.
You know, I just thought it was a burger bag. I'm not going to look any closer.
And I think it's the only time we've ever actually seen the logo. I think, yeah, because in Pulp Fiction, you don't see it. It's just the burger and the wrapper. And that's
I
it.
think I'll have to look again, but I think it might have been on the,
on the bag.
or the cup.
I think so. Also, the hamburger wrapper was two different colors. In one scene, it was white. The other one was brown.
That was also a trivia thing we
Yeah.
also saw.
You know, but the one thing I will say about some of those like continuity error things is sure there's like someone hired for those continuities, but there's things that aren't like so consequential to the storyline, you know? So I don't mind it. That's just how many things you're going to focus on. But the one that stood out the most that I thought was fucking hilarious is George Clooney in the middle of the movie where Salma Hayek's, what's her, what's it?
Santanico Pandemonium.
Thank you. I'll just refer to you for that. She punches him across the room, and when she does that, his white shirt turns to black.
So she knocked the white off his shirt.
and different type of shirt because he was wearing like a button up.
Oh yeah, kind
Yeah.
of like a vest or something.
Yeah, and then it went to like a tank or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's one of those continuity errors where I go, okay, that's a complete wardrobe change. Whoa, I'm not gonna knock like
Look,
a different color
the
wrapper
tattoo moving on the neck. Okay, fine.
because
I
it
get
did look hand drawn, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
I'm like, I get it. Maybe, he shifted or something or different artist that day. Cool. But a whole different wardrobe thing. I'm like, that's kind of big.
So I want to focus on Quentin Tarantino's character for just a few minutes. Tarantino typically, when he writes roles for himself, he's, like I said earlier, he's very talkative. You know, guy talks a mile a minute. It's usually really good. It's very questionable most of the time. And I think this is one of the first and only roles where he's quiet, and it worked for him. It worked. He managed to make this creepy character even that much more threatening with the quietness of his creepiness, his creep factor.
And then especially when he speaks, it's like that very soft voice.
It's
you
very
know?
whispery. Yeah, I just
Do you want to come watch TV with me? Sit
go
next to me?
Oh man. So there we are in the hotel room. Seth has to take off. All Richie has to do is just keep an eye on Gloria, the bank teller, wait for Seth to come back, and they continue on their adventures. They go across the border, they go to the titty twister, whatever. Why does he find it in himself to have Gloria sit on the bed with him, which is already just, you're like, ooh, this guy is creepy just by the way he's softly speaking. And I think we then meet the Fullers at the diner.
Yeah.
I won't break down that scene, but again, efficiency in storytelling, you get to know about the dad's lack of faith. Juliette Lewis's character, Kate, is sort of the one holding family together. And then there's Scott.
You're like, oh yeah, he's just there.
Yeah, really. And so when we come back to the hotel room, it's Richie that's sitting in like the
in like the
front.
like the living room area by
Yeah.
himself with the bedroom door closed.
And I love that George Clooney's Seth is so professional that he's trying to focus on the plan and everything like that. But then his brain catches up with him, from what he saw. And he's like, all right, so, here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet with a guy named Carlos across the border. Wait a second. Where's Gloria? Oh, she's in the other room. Richie doesn't say she's in a bloody mess. I raped and murdered her. He's just, oh, she's in the other room. So he's already disconnected this person from being a person, and and Seth doesn't expect what he's going to walk in on, nor does Richie prep him for what he's about to walk in on. He's mid-bite. He's already chowing down on his fucking food because apparently killing someone takes a lot of work or whatever.
Calories. Got to punish some calories you spent.
I so enjoy when a movie doesn't feel the need to full out show you the carnage, because it isn't about the carnage. It's about the character's reaction to said carnage. And so we are on a reverse shot. We're looking at George Clooney as Seth, and he opens a door, but we get little micro snippets of a foot here and the blood there and the body strewn across the bed. And George Clooney's performance, fucking masterpiece, is you see the processing of it.
Yeah.
And he can't believe what he's seeing, and he doesn't want to believe what he's seeing. But as he's processing it, he just asks his brother, is this something I did? Did I do something wrong? What is wrong with you? And just had, it's a slow meltdown, but he finally has a meltdown. And while he's melting down, Richie's trying to, well, I had to.
It's like, because she became a completely different person. And it's like, what happened when Seth leaves? Like what was going on through his mind?
Which I think, or Richie, right?
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tarantino.
Which we do get a glimpse of in like the immediate next scene with Juliette Lewis's character, Kate. I'm not going to stop saying that. Just with Kate and Richie, where he is schizophrenic. They kind of establish later that he's schizophrenic. So he imagines her saying different things. What do you think? Like he thought that Gloria was saying, to the point that it forced him to kill her. Maybe he raped her. I don't know. But it's this very moment, because it's the most horrible thing that maybe Seth has seen. Maybe in the past he's only heard about Richie doing some of these things. Maybe I'm just, I'm assuming here, kind of filling in the blanks. Maybe he just had to help him clean up a thing or two. But maybe this is one of the first times where he really seen him do something absolutely out of line where it didn't need to be done. And so he has that meltdown and pushes him against the wall and makes him swear that, I think he makes him swear that he apologizes or won't do it again, or something along the lines of that. But one of the things that he says is this what you think I am? I am a professional. I don't need to kill unless I have to. And going to you, Alva, like that's that moment. I agree with you that he should have put his brother down. All of mice and men,
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that scene for me, with the door closed, I thought they were vampires from the beginning.
Oh, interesting.
Because I'm like, okay, cool. Two people somehow get in a shootout, don't get his hand whole. He's still alive, moving fingers. Cool. That's kind of giving me vampire vibes at that kind of thing. And I'm like,
Daywalkers.
yeah. I'm like, okay, I don't know what type of vampires we're working with here. There's a vast category of how you can go with these. But then once that was revealed, I was like, never mind. They're just these like low lives. Like it's fine.
So I want to quickly just go through a couple of the scenes, right? So you finally get the Geckos and the Fullers. They go on a little trip together across the border, and you meet Cheech Marin in one of his first roles as the Border Patrol.
Not his only role in this movie.
Yeah, his one out of three roles, and obviously like my least favorite because he's creepy.
Yeah. Like he's just like staring at Kate as she's sitting on the toilet. And like when he like looks down as he's closing, I'm like, I don't know like how old she's supposed to be.
I think because she
like,
later says like I'm almost 21.
Yeah, like I'm not 21 yet. I'm not old enough to drink. But my mind kept thinking like, okay, she's supposed to be a teenager and this full grown man's like checking her out. So it's like another pervy moment.
I thought she was just like in high school, maybe like a junior, senior kind of thing, taking a family trip, whatever.
Yeah.
To close out on Richie, it's his multiple interactions with Kate. He's checking her out. He's like basically drooling when it comes to them being on the RV. He's looking at her feet. And Seth knows that his brother is a rapist, you know, and so he uses that to his advantage and threatens Jacob. Like, you see my brother? You see how he's looking at your daughter? Do you want that to happen? He's like, no, I do not. And then this is a weird little detail of like having Richie put his bit in his mouth guard.
Yeah.
Because he grinds.
He grinds his teeth.
I love little details like that in movies. You could have just had a quick interaction, that's that, but just those little things, you know, it fleshes those characters out even more. It's just so fucking good, you guys. It's so fucking good. We finally get to the titty twister, right?
Yeah. Buy one, get the other one for a penny.
Carlos, jump in.
Welcome, pussy lovers. You know, we got all kinds of pussy. You got red pussy, you got yellow pussy, brown pussy, white pussy. We got chicken pussy, smelly pussy.
We're definitely getting the explicit wording on this one.
Just you're just gonna hear a lot of bleeps, but that's all I could remember.
No, I think what the one is buy one piece of pussy and get a second piece of pussy for equal or lesser value. Oh man.
For only a penny.
Now, that's a steal right there.
They walk into the bar and Alva says,
Boobs.
That little pause, like boobs.
Boobs.
God, you know what? I miss like the gratuitous nudity back in the day, just like the high-waisted bikinis and toplessness. And that's just that kind of 90s fun. Instead of like nowadays where it's like, well, guys get time to be nude. I'm like, oh man, come on. And then Sydney Sweeney comes along and it's like, I got you.
Furries.
And then the movie just changes from here. It's rowdy. There's like these, we've said before, it's such like fun and interesting characters. So much happens in the titty twister that, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to like go down the list of some of your favorite moments when it comes to either the vampires or like death scenes or anything like that.
I think the one scene that was just kind of, not once, it's like when they were talking to Danny Trejo's character in the beginning. He's like, it's a biker bar.
Oh yeah,
Or trucker biker bar.
Yeah.
And then of course, there you go, the dad. Well, technically I have this kind of ID, so technically I am a trucker.
Okay, Ken, we get it.
I love Keitel's performance in this, just the delivery of that. Well, if you look out there, I have the recreational vehicle that does belong to me. Now, one needs a Class 2 license in order to operate said vehicle, which I happen to have. Now, does that mean we can drink in your place? All right, well, welcome to the titty twister. Like, just, you know, flip of a switch.
For me, my favorite one to stand out is Tom Savini as Sex Machine.
Oh, so good.
It's like, so he's sitting there and he sees the other biker guy with the bottle of beer. He uses the whip, which he does use the whip for real. So that's not like some stunt man. He does know how to use the whip, grabs it. And the other biker, who's played by Greg Nicotero, who's like a legend in special effects.
Yeah, you pointed that one out to me.
Yeah. So he pulls out like a switchblade. And then we get a shot of Sex Machine leaning back, and he has like this codpiece that just flips open, and it's a cock
Oh my God,
gun.
yes.
How does that even work?
I know. What are the mechanics? So like the chambers are like the balls, but how does it load?
Yeah,
the bullet into
the cylinders
cylinder?
are the balls and are offset on the sides of the actual barrel. I don't.
But it's great. Like it just goes along with it.
One of my second favorite scenes is when Sex Machine gets bit. This is after all the fucking mayhem happens to kill so many vampires and stuff. But after Sex Machine gets bit, first of all, Tom Savini is fucking hilarious, and just that the him turning and hearing the voices and like his eyes, his like eye acting when he like feels the sharp teeth and his hand changes or whatever. But it's during a time where Frost he's scolding Kate. Because Kate's like, I can't take the noise of the bat wings or whatever, right? And he goes, you're going to have to. You will because you have to. I did when he had to spend 24 hours surrounded by the corpses of your friends. I was in Nam. And he starts going down this like really meticulous, very dark and bloody story, but we don't get to hear all of it.
Yeah. But like in the background, you just see him waving his arms around, simulating like he's stabbing people. And I don't know. I just kind of want to think like where they're just quiet and they're just seeing Frost waving his arms around.
What's so funny, because we don't really get to see this in any other movie, not that I can point out at the top of my head, but if we were to stay with him telling that story, it would have been like with Michael Parks telling the story, right?
Yeah.
We would slowly push in as Frost is telling this really dark and gory story. And maybe we would get reaction shots, right? Reverse reaction shots would probably be close ups and maybe a slow pan or something like that of the family. We don't get that, right? And it's so funny to see from the outside what this like absolutely dark story is, but we don't get to hear it. Like
Yeah.
you said, he's just like, he's stabbing at the air and stuff. And you just see the back of the family and they're just awkwardly waiting for him to get done telling the story.
They're like, Grandpa's going through his flashbacks of war.
Let Grandpa speak his mind.
Have you guys ever done that? Like when you know someone's going to like walk into your conversation, you start to make up the end half of a completely made up story.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
somebody walks in, like, let's go around the table. So somebody walks in and they go, yeah, and so that's how I unhooked my nutsack from the door.
Nice.
What do you guys usually do?
What, like,
And then somebody walks in and then you finish a crazy story of the second half.
Oh, okay. Somebody walks in and then they just saw me skinning alive a chicken.
I don't think you know how the game is played.
Nope.
I guess I don't either.
Like it's moments where somebody walks into your conversation and you know peripherally that they're walking into your conversation. So you then make up a second half of the story, and that's how I got the blood out of my shoes. You're like, what fuck just happened?
And that's how I use my banana hands to examine my best friend.
Elva,
I got nothing.
come on, you make stuff up. And then somebody walked into their conversation, they're coming, and
And that's how I found $5.
So tamed.
damn it. I'm keeping the other one in.
Well, yeah. They're like, what? Fucking hell, dude. I'm making dinner.
That's so good.
I also want to mention, like, just on the background with like the band playing Tito and Tarantula, which they're just credited as the Titty Twister House Band. Like they're just mainly playing their instruments, and then every once in a while they have like a lyric, "Fumando marijuana." That was my favorite one.
I think there's a couple of vampire designs that I've always hated as a kid, and I even rewatching it now is like, that's ridiculous. But when I was doing a little more research as far as like, and I won't go into it, the lore of like the designs of the vampire is some of the vampires are like kind of animal hybrids.
Yeah.
Sex Machine turns into like this rat thing.
Vampire thing. Yeah.
Salma Hayek's
Santanico pandemonium
is like a snake-like thing, which in a deleted scene, she's like slithering around on the
on
floor.
her back.
So weird.
my
It
God.
does not work, even with Salma Hayek. But when Frost turns into a vampire, he's like this thick-necked thing that almost looks like a bulldog.
Yeah.
I always hated it. I don't understand. I want somebody to have explained it, maybe in movie or in a behind the scenes. And then second, other than Quentin Tarantino's giant fucking melon.
Oh yeah, because we were watching like the trivia like fact videos. I'm like, man, that forehead, and then you had to turn and look at me.
I'm like, yeah. What about the forehead? But is the band that you just mentioned?
Yeah.
When do they have time to make instruments out of dismembered body parts and severed heads and spinal columns?
They have that in the back. So that
just
is
ready to go.
Yeah. So after, what is it, 2 a.m., that's when they bring those things out. After the normies go home.
The other design thing that I hated was, and by the way, when we're researching this, it could have gotten crazier. They deleted the scene, but there was a vampire that had like a stomach, a mouth in the stomach.
Kind of like from The Thing.
Yeah.
Where, yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have worked because that puppet thing looked so cartoony.
There was, go on.
No, you go ahead.
No, there was another interesting feature from one of the vampires. I don't remember if it was Salma Hayek or one of the other ones, where I guess kind of like they have like the alien tongue where they open their mouth.
What's Salma Hayek?
Yeah. And then a long snake-like tongue comes out with a mouth to bite off the head of a biker, which, it looked bad.
But I give credit to them because when the vampires reveal themselves, past being topless, there's so many things that happen. There's like 12.5 different types of kills, different types of vampires. And so as like a creator, I can imagine it's just a big sandbox. You're just going to have all the fun. You're going to shoot all the things. Mind you still have to build the props for a lot of these things. You still have to do the special effects for those. That's a bit taxing, but I feel like they had a lot of fun making that.
Oh, yeah. And then, well, we haven't even gotten to Salma Hayek's introduction into the movie before all hell breaks loose. The dance scene, which apparently, she did choreograph that herself. Because I think, what was it that they said? Like, how do you choreograph dancing with a snake or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which, Salma Hayek has a fear of snakes, so they did a trick on her where they were going to tell her that Madonna was going to be cast in that role. And that was what pushed her to, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'll deal with the snake fear. And I want that fucking part.
Yeah. Was it 2 months of snake therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It took a lot of buildup for her to just finally have that big fucking boa wrapped all around her body.
And then the whole dance is
Like
just
slow.
her feeling the music. Like, you know how you just listen to a song and you're just like, ooh, you groove into it. You're just like, yeah.
I groove.
So that
groove.
is basically her. It's just like, just feel the music. And then that's what she did.
And I know that the role of
Santanico Pandemonium
has been cast in The Hangman's Daughter and in the Dust Till Dawn series that came out like 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no one that can be so sexually captivating like Salma Hayek. There's not one person that won't be like, yeah, I'll roll it. Yeah, I'll take a crack at it. No one. She is the perfect 10 of. She's a goddess, which I'm glad she played one in Eternals.
Yes.
Essentially, but they didn't sexualize her. Sydney Sweeney, you hear that? You don't have to say be sexualized in every single role. I digress.
It's a little harsh. You know what? You're on point on that one. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. In what was it? The Nun or whatever?
Immaculate?
Immaculate.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way she's gonna. Oh, she's naked.
Like, we didn't need that. We didn't need that.
No.
Stop womanizing women. I'm fine. I'm okay.
But this fucking scene, Salma Hayek is to say knockout is an understatement, and it's there's a few scenes in this movie, obviously before all the fucking shit hits the fan, where we're sitting in it, where we're vibing. Does it really tell a story? No. But if you're casting Salma Hayek as this hypnotizing sex vampire snake thing, yeah, you're going to give all the attention on that,
And she certainly got that attention from everyone in the room. And I shared the story with you too, that there was one time years back that I think it was like over the holidays, you guys had invited me to, I think it was like your sister's house for Christmas. And that movie was playing in the background. And then when it got to Salma Hayek's dance, all of us just like shushed and we just like watched the TV. Like we stopped what we were doing. It was like, shh, Salma Hayek's dance.
And so that's what I wrote down, that when the music starts, when she makes her entrance and disrobes and you're met with, I don't know, probably the most perfect human being ever in existence that hasn't aged till this day. And like I said, I'll be her slave vampire. The entire, whoever's watching it is holding their breath. Everyone in the bar is holding her breath. I mean, we're not part of the movie. The script probably said, be hypnotized by this sex vampire. And we're like, we are also hypnotized. It is one of the most sexiest dance sequences probably ever. I mean, can you guys recall any kind of, gratuitous sex stripping dance thing? Elizabeth Berkley did not do anything in Showgirls.
I will not count Showgirls.
No, not at all.
No, I can't. Well, at least top of my head. I mean, I was thinking. So, can you think of
Magic
something?
Mike, maybe.
What about Burlesque with Christina Aguilera?
I don't know if I recall that, but okay.
I don't remember. I saw it a long time ago, but I can't remember.
That's what I'm trying to remember exactly the scenes, because they also didn't show. It was very
no, she wasn't nude.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately,
she still had clothes, but
Jamie Lee Curtis, True Lies.
Okay, I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she was awkward before she started doing the dance, but my God, the high waisted hip thing, the bikini thing
I'm
is.
telling you, it works.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean, I'm envious of George Clooney in that scene because I think he had the best seat at the whole house. He's just sitting there,
I'm simulating that,
and she's giving the wiggle, 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 and the wiggle, wiggle, wiggle,
And the shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
And of course, Tarantino had to write that scene specifically for him.
I'm not mad at that one.
I know, but it's kind of like it's the one moment where I don't mind it, but it's like, of course, that's what he wanted.
I'm just happy that it wasn't Tommy Wiseau version of writing himself into a sex scene.
Oh my God.
I think he's aiming a little too high.
Oh man, but yeah, once pandemonium, once everything hits the fan again, that's when we get so many fucking crazy things happening with the vampires. And at a later point, you get a whole room full of like fully transformed vampires, which when we did a research, fun fact, there was only 9 of them.
Only 9 suits were made.
And so then they had a visually effect kind of, copy paste,
Yeah.
which
Or cardboard copies.
Or cardboard-
in the back.
That too. They did
in the
that
back,
trick.
in the back.
Yeah.
And then also the ones that died also came back to life as a different character
Yeah.
kind of thing. You're like, oh, it's never ending.
Hey, you
Oh
gotta
my
be
God.
resourceful.
Yeah.
There is a movie that I saw with the guys of the Hype Attack. Shout out the Hype Attack. It was called I think it's like One Man versus Samurai versus 99 Samurai, whatever it was. Basically, it's a I don't know, like an hour and a half movie or whatever, and it's a one shot. It's a complete one shot, and he's battling like 99 samurais. And if you're watching it for long enough, you realize, oh wait, that guy with the top knot ponytail who died, he just ran back around and came back.
It was just a respawn. That's all it was in gaming terms.
respawn.
He was never really dead.
Yeah, let's like close it out because there's really not much more to say other than just it's so fun with all the vampire death scenes.
Okay, I do have a question. Out of all the things that are in that back room, water guns,
What about
like
About him.
out of all the things
About 'em.
that could be in that place,
I was gonna say the fucking crossbow.
that too. I mean, yeah, it's like, but water guns, like a whole crate full of water guns.
No, you know what? That one made more sense in the context of another crate had toys, another crate had the little pop gun things,
another one had like condoms
and then
like,
Yeah.
sunglasses. And so,
it's just like random loot that the vampires took from the trucks because at the very final shot of the film is the reveal that the titty twister bar is the top of an Aztec temple that's mostly buried. And you kind of see like all the old cars from like probably like 100 years ago to like more recent cars. So it was like in the behind the scenes video that we were watching, or like the trivia stuff. That shot wasn't even originally in the script. It was just going to end with the characters driving off, which yes, they do survive at the end. And Seth goes on his merry way to El Rey with Carlos, not me, not yours truly, and it was just going to end with both characters driving off, but they felt like they just wanted to add something else because they don't really, for most of the movie, even though they give you the rules with the vampire when they introduce them, they don't really give you backstory. Like, are these just vampires that happen to own a bar and that's it? So like having that final shot of the Aztec temple being mostly buried adds so much to their lore. Like, okay, so they're like hundreds and thousands of years old, which apparently the show, the From Dusk Till Dawn show, gives you a lot more backstory to the vampires.
And I don't know if I'm going to watch the show, but I know there's like YouTube videos where they break down some of the lore. I was watching a little bit of that because evidently the third sequel was a prequel called The Hangman's Daughter about
Santanico Pandemonium.
Thank you much for that. So that's just fun that they set themselves up for that because in the end, this movie was a success that did spawn off 2 sequels and a TV show and a video game. Evidently. The budget of the movie was $19 million and it made $60 million worldwide, which is technically a success. And then kicked off like so many people's career. You got George Clooney, Salma Hayek. You got more movies from Robert Rodriguez. Tarantino, I think at the time, was just done with Pulp Fiction.
Reservoir Dogs,
and Reservoir Dogs. Yeah,
I think also with George Clooney, he was filming ER.
Yeah. And that's how Tarantino decided to cast him because Tarantino does that too. He did it with Gilmore Girls, where he'll guest direct, and he did that with ER. And of course, when you're a director like that, who's very opinionated, and I'm not going to exactly defend the things that he said about, was it Paul Dano?
Yeah.
But, directors are very opinionated and they're going to die on that hill. They have to run the whole show. So, that being that, but when you see a talent, like for instance, I've said this before, like when I first saw Oscar Isaac in, I think it was not Sucker Punch, but Inside Llewyn Davis. Pretty small, well, not small role, but kind of a small production, if you will. It's a Coen brother movie. And I'm like, this guy's really fucking good. I bet he's going to do good stuff. And sure enough, motherfucker took off, And George Clooney, I mean, dear Lord, Danny Ocean, Batman. The guy can do it all. But, story-wise, it's very straightforward, with certain people dying. There are there's a couple of, like, production effects that I thought were very fun, including the matte painting, but also like some of the vampire death designs when Jacob's vampire gets the condom of holy water to the face.
Oh my god,
that was really fucking good.
That was cool.
The big rat vampire animatronic thing. At some points, it was like, oh, it's obviously a puppet, but at other moments, you're like, the puppeteering it's fucking scary. Certain parts moving around. You know what I forgot to mention, because I go off on tangents and I ramble about these things. When I was talking about the design, the certain design aspect of the vampires that I didn't like was the band and Frost having the ability to
unalive himself.
Yeah,
like he just like melts
self-eliminate.
away.
There's like I'm out skis and the band blows up, or Frost just melts down.
Yeah,
weird.
They don't really explain, like, did he, like, scare himself to death or what?
I'm going to go out on my terms and my terms only. That's about it.
Sure.
Hey, all right, well, give him credit for that.
And like Carlos said, they drive off into the sunset, or the rising sun, if you will, as the camera pulls back from the titty twister, the back of it with the Aztec pyramid, and, needle drop again, Dark Knight. It just perfectly bookends the experience of a movie that From Dusk Till Dawn is. Overall, now that we've talked about it, I want to say at length, but I know people are going to be like, you didn't talk about this, that, and the other. That we can go on and on and on about these things. We're not that type of podcast to do like 4 parts about a movie. So we're
not film scholars.
No, not at all. We're just geeking about it. But what are some things that maybe we left on the table you guys want to?
Oh, the bullets, the holes, the bullet holes on the thing, and at the end, like a disco ball is what takes them out.
Oh, right.
I wrote down disco saves the day.
I mean, I love it. I love disco, but that's how they go out without dancing.
I guess for me, I think this and this is points, jumping off of your point that you made earlier, Alva, about Salma Hayek's character, that for you, the movie ended when they kill her off. Yeah, I feel the same way, where they just kind of killed her off during the mayhem. I'm like, I thought she would have been like the main villain leading on all the way till the end.
Oh, totally.
So, I mean, George Clooney's one-liner, like when she's telling him, like, welcome to slavery, and she's in her vampire form. He's like, no thanks, I already had a wife. I would have been fine with him still saying that, but like save that death till later, because I felt like she just died way too easily.
Yeah, I think that also, like, it threw me off, because like this whole movie, every time everyone talks about this movie, it's like and I'm like, okay, cool. And then when she like dies, it's like, oh, so I only get. So then I'm checked out.
And I
check out.
And they killed off the other bar staff who are also vampires, like Danny Trejo, Cheech Marines, like the pussy guy. How I was like, okay, so we just have like generic vampire creatures. Again, cool designs, but it's like, but no vampire characters are left alive.
That's true. No, that is one of the things, if ever I could, like, go back in time and have them correct anything, like let Salma Hayek's character,
Santanico Pandemonium,
thank you, stay alive for a couple minutes longer, and maybe, do a whole Avengers standoff thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be bringing someone in like that, like, to me, mine's more like Queen of the Damned, where it's Salma Hayek kind of like, where it's like, that one would be like my thing.
Well, as far as like actor wise, she wasn't big at the time. She had done Desperado for Robert Rodriguez, but she wasn't huge.
Yeah. No, but at the same time, it's like, this movie is to you guys like Queen of the Damned is for me. And it's like,
you masturbated to it a couple of times?
No.
Well, then I don't know how to compare it.
Anyways, but the build up to something, and then it just crashes down halfway through, and then like I'm just here. Oh, so we're just going for side people.
You're like, oh, that's it. Like,
and then also Danny Trejo comes back to life.
What do you mean?
And then he gets killed again. Did we miss that part?
Does he come back to life and get killed again?
In this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I know
Does
he comes back in all the other movies. Him and Cheech Marin.
Yeah, but I don't know. Wait, which part are you
Because
talking about?
they get him at the bar. He's one of the first, like, you know.
Oh, they beat him up, but they don't.
Oh, they beat him up.
Yeah, they beat him up, and I think they stab him or
stabbed
shoot him,
him.
but they don't do the stake to the
No,
to the heart.
because it was just like a small knife, and it was just torso stabs, but
Yeah.
they didn't get the heart. And then, like the
See,
other
with vampires, you need to destroy
Yeah.
the heart. That's what the lore is with vampire. I do love that silly scene that almost every other movie has now, where they're like, "What do we know about vampires?"
Are we like? Does somebody read a book about it, or are we just going off of what some movie told us?
Before we end it, I do quickly want to say, going back to Selma Hayek,
Santanico pandemonium.
she dies pretty.
She died.
Oh, she does.
They made sure
yeah.
not to melt her fucking face immediately, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm dying," and you're like, "Hey, yeah, you are," and then melts away.
shiver, shiver.
Freaking chandeliers, man.
Fucking chandeliers. So I want to do our little White Just Tea Gets Fresh without the music. I usually don't do the music. And if you're not familiar with our little guessing game, every other episode, we usually alternate in guessing the Rotten Tomato critic and audience score, as well as giving our own personal rating from 0 to 100, 69 and below being rotten, and 70 above being fresh. Is it 59 and below? I've been getting it wrong, right? 59 below being rotten. Yeah. 59 and below being rotten, 60 and above being fresh. I'll start with you, Carlos. What is your personal rating, and then what's your guess?
I'll give it 82% personal. Critics, 75. Audiences, 88.
Elva?
I'll give it a 75.
Okay.
I think critics might have given it maybe like a 79. I think audience might have gone big with 82.
Critics give this a 66%.
Oh, okay.
So it's barely fresh. I didn't go into the reviews, and we're not gonna. This is just a fun guessing game. And the audience loved it at 76%.
Okay.
You would think it'd have a little more warmth
Yeah.
in people's hearts.
A bit more.
I see why.
Cold-hearted vampiric bastards. I got nothing more to say about this movie. We watched From Dusk Till Dawn. Does anybody have anything else to say before we close it out?
No,
No.
it's an okay. It's my okay watch.
It's it could be a fun watch, you know. It's not a staple, but it's not a required watch, but
Yeah.
it's a fun watch.
Yeah,
It could have been a short film.
Again, like I could analyze the first 45 minutes of the movie when it is just the cops and robbers
Yeah.
dynamic thing, because when they did end up killing Richie, Tarantino's character, it was, I don't know, I felt like it needed like a bigger emotional moment,
Bigger punch.
Yeah, live in it a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think that's where it missed. But man, at least you're getting 2 for 1, almost like a Grindhouse deal. All right, let's go ahead and close this out. We watched From Dusk Till Dawn. We know we didn't do it justice, but it was what it was. We still got to talk about it, and we forced Alva to see this movie
Twice.
And the next movie we're going to cover is something I haven't seen.
Oh, yeah.
Wuthering Heights. So.
Well, yeah, I think the next 2 are going to be 2 movies that you haven't seen.
Yeah. All right. In the meantime, follow us on social media at
Why Chesty Pod.
on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you enjoy what we're doing, as silly and unorganized and unprofessional as we are, we just have access to microphones. You can support us on Venmo at
Why Chesty Pod.
And we love you. We appreciate you. We mean it. In the meantime, let us know what movies are on your growing list of films that has people asking you the question,
You haven't seen that?
All right, ladies.
Pussy.
Okay, bye.
Pussy for you.
I'm telling you, it's a steal deal,
Fuck it.
Hey, were they cycles or something?
A penny.